The devil isn't attacking you because you are weak. He is attacking you because you are a threat, because there is something powerful inside you. Thieves don't break into empty houses. The enemy couldn't take you out, so he's trying to wear you down. But don't you dare give in, because the tide is about to turn in your favor. God sees your struggles. He knows your heart. He knows you're tired, but he is not done with you yet. Put him first. Trust him.
My daughter makes a cameo. My beautiful and lovely daughter, Sierra.
In our big red clip of the week. How are you, Chris?
We're doing good. How was your week, Tamara?
Good. It was really good. It's been busy, just crazy busy. I can't even. And you the. Uh-oh.
We had a glitch.
Freezing up.
Yeah, you were just glitching. Yeah, I've been home for a week. I parked the truck, I believe it was last Friday, Saturday, something like that when I got home. And I've had so much stuff to try and get caught up around here. It's been a lot of maintenance and a lot of cleaning, and I'm trying to get my haying equipment ready right now so I can go cut hay and bale for my horses for the winter. My hay crop is unbelievable right now. But everything's breaking. I run old equipment, and it's all, it's been a struggle. Everything I walk to is like needs work, but it is what it is, and we'll just plug it away better. So.
Welcome to farm life.
I heard
Not only that, but we actually thought Chris was going to be late for the show, or potentially because he was going to go help his neighbor bury his horse, which is one of the most farmy, neighborly Saskatchewan things you can do.
The vet appointment was at 5, so I said, let me know when it's done, and it's in the village, so it's part of our, it doesn't have to be part of the community service. I've reached my hours on my community service now, so I'm continuing to work for the village right now, and just put in community service regardless of the hours. It doesn't need to be, but I'm still doing it. So we have lots of projects to keep busy with, and I'm trying to put back into the community. So
excellent.
So
my week was great. Go ahead.
Yeah, you were busy on Canada Day, I heard.
Yeah, we went to Mirror, Alberta. We were supposed to play a couple sets there. We only ended up playing one because we got totally rained out. But despite the weather, I messaged Scott today to see how many people he thought were there, and there's over 3,000 people that showed up for. Well, at the whistle stop, they don't call it Canada Day; they call it Albertans Day. So it was just a sea of blue flags. But it was really great. They had great speakers. It was obviously very well attended. The music was a lot of fun. Lots of people that came up to me and said they watch our show regularly. And of course, they're just happy that just a lot of support. There's a lot of support out there still. Cheers when I spoke, and I talked about how they just stopped going after trying to seize your truck. So there was a big round of applause and cheers for that. So, which was a win. I mean, they made themselves look foolish. I don't think they had any alternative but to drop that case.
Yeah, there's just an element of bitterness inside me that they actually had the audacity to pull that stunt off. But we got a little bit of news in court stuff this week. We found out that our hearings for our appeals, I believe it was December, has to be in for the Crown prosecutor, and then our lawyers have to have their written submissions in by, February of 2027, possibly a hearing spring of 2027, and a decision sometime maybe in the fall. And Ottawa's went so good. They brought this huge high gun attorney in. You should see her list of accolades. Drug cases, murder cases, pedophiles, gang units. This is what she focuses on, except for Chris and Tamara.
Which tracks, like I said in a post I made the other day, because they did put homicide detectives on our mischief case. So here's the information that we received about the appeal. The Crown is appealing against the acquittal and sentence in relation to both Mr. Barber and Miss Leach. Mr. Barber is appealing against conviction and sentence, and Miss Leach against conviction. The appeals are grouped. 4 transcripts are required, and they need to be provided by the end of this month. The Crown will file a joint appeal book. Miss Magus and Mr. Greenspan will file their factums by the end of September. The Crown will file its factum by December 18th. If the justice system moved any slower, it'd be going backwards. The factum I think it is going backwards. The FACTA will respond to Leach and Barber appeals and include the Crown's appeal and sentence appeal. It may be up to 45 pages in length because, of course, it will. What they're waiting on, basically, is what we get to in the next portion, which is the decision in Pat King's recent court appearance on those appeals. The decision of this court in R versus King is relevant to the acquittal on the intimidation offense the Crown is appealing. This appeal was argued May 11th and currently under reserve. It is expected the decision may be released in time for the Crown to consider it prior to filing its factum. The expectation is an appeal hearing in the spring of 2027. So almost still a year away. Yeah, and we don't even have to have our factums until the end of February. So if the decision in King is released earlier than expected, the above schedule can be revisited. So basically, they still want to throw us in jail. They still want, sorry, I'm just going to get rid of this.
Probably what, 5 years?
They still want those intimidation charges to stick. Because of course they're terrible. You definitely wouldn't want those on your criminal record, which is exactly why the judge threw them out. Judge Perkins McVeigh said, there was no violence in these cases. There was people felt, threats of violence or microaggressions. But there was no actual evidence of any violence occurring. And she said that's sort of a correlation to independence. Intimidation charges, and so that she acquitted us on those, and so they're trying to have those acquittals overturned to get those on our records and also to send us to jail. And the crazy thing, Chris, is that this is all going to start happening after we've already served our sentences.
Yeah, October our life gets a little easier when it comes into the 24-hour curfew, and then we're going to do the evening curfew. So
yeah,
we've been living it for the last 4 years. It's been a lot in the last 4 years, hasn't it? Like when you stop and think about it, it's been quite a bit. So
it has been, honestly, but I don't look at it like that. It's like that saying about, how do you eat an elephant one chunk at a time? I just tend to and I think you and I and many others have just had to do that from day one. Is just, even in Ottawa, you just have to get up and get through the day and live your life and be the best person that you can be despite anything that's going on around you. And in our case, this has just become our life, which is really sad. But it has become our life. But look at all the great people that we get to meet, the friends and the family that we've made, like our whole group. You were just telling me that Melissa, the Keys are up in Fort St. John to see our good friends, the Hobbs, up there, and Byrne and his wife, Heidi. Yep. And they were just out to see Danny, Bulford, and Piper, obviously. Yep. So I think we're pretty lucky, and I think we're pretty blessed overall.
Our group of our community is large, and it is amazing. Like what you witnessed yesterday at the Whistle Stop, having all the people there, knowing that you're in a good place with all that support around you. I mean, it's basically every time I stop at a truck stops or a Subway or something like that, somebody just stops by just to say hi and shake a hand or tell a story. And that's our group. That's our people.
But not even when you're stopped. I mean, you try calling Chris Barber on the phone and having a conversation with him when he's driving, and every few minutes he's got to reply to somebody on the CB radio because people that are passing him on the highway, are constantly, "Hey, Big Red, hey, how's it going? Great to see you," or whatever, So it's really cute. There's definitely a ton of support out there.
Yep. No, it's actually amazing. I couldn't be more humbled by it. And I think, we've both grown a lot in the last 4 years. I could tell you I've probably matured a little bit. Sometimes I see the negative comments and I'm like, I'm going to mess that guy's day up or that lady's day up. And I do. But, I think we've, definitely humbled in the last number of years and recognized the fact that, wow, this is just, it's our life now, I guess. So we appreciate it.
Yeah. But that said, I mean, I gotta say, I've had to send some work exemption requests in. My regular CSO or PO, whatever you want to call her, is away, so I had a temp, and then I had a temp for the temp, so I was a little bit worried. But they've been really great, and I just gotta say to the Medicine Community Corrections Organization, they've been really good. They've been really good to deal with. For me, for the most part, I did have that one incident. And, you know, sometimes I sort of mock the situation and make fun of him, but I have to say, there is a glaring difference between how things run in Alberta than there is in Ontario. And even with our guests tonight, I have to say, you know, I was so fortunate to go to Calgary a couple of weeks ago to sit with Carrie during her hearings for her proposed class action. And the difference even in the courtroom, you know, like if we got 4 hours of court in on average per day during the entire process we were there, we would have been lucky. You know, the Zoom wouldn't work, or there was fruit flies, or the clocks needed to be set, or, you know, it was constant. We came in, there was one little hiccup on the first day where they were having problems with the WebEx audio. They had us in a different courtroom in 15 minutes. The justice came in and apologized profusely, and breaks started and ended on time. Lunch started and ended on time. It was the most efficiently run courtroom I've ever been in. But then I've only really been in Ottawa. So, you know, it's sort of, I understand the reaction that we got from some of the lawyers when they first got out to Ottawa now, and they had to go to court. They were just like, what is this Twilight Zone?
It is. We would start our mornings in Ottawa almost every day, an hour, sometimes an hour and a half late, and then work for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then take a break, and then maybe get an hour in, and then lunch for an hour and a half. It was honestly it's pretty sad, but I don't work that way. So,
well, I get to go do it again. I get to go do it again on July 22nd. We finally got a date for my variation order to go before Judge Perkins McVeigh in Ottawa. So I think we'll fly out and probably attend in person. We'll see. I always just think it's better if you can be there in person, to be there in person. And so,
and the variation order, that's for leaving the country, right?
Yeah, for work. So that we're asking Her Honor's permission or to change my conditions so that I could please work outside of Canada once in a while. So, well, I mean, we'll see how it goes. You have been.
I've touched a huge nerve with a few other people that we stood with in Ottawa, just for the simple fact that I can cross the border. And I don't know, my criminal record is 2 charges: mischief and disobeying a court order. Some of the people criticizing me have notedly the length of their arm criminal record. So I think, I mean, if I find a bad border guard or something like that doesn't like me, and I hit that road and I am barred entry, then I'm prepared for that. I'm totally prepared with. I would love to see, you know, maybe pull on the White House's heartstrings and see if we can't get an exemption or a pardon. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, that would be something. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Yeah, well, and I'm heading to Ottawa tomorrow too. So I'm heading to Ottawa for work. So I get to go back to Ottawa a couple times this month already, which is kind of crazy.
Well, we've got a couple sitting in the waiting room right now. We don't have them for very long tonight, so we will. We'll bring them in.
We'll bring them on in. All right. Yes. Welcome, Carrie and Eva. How are you, ladies? Welcome to House Arrest.
Carrie, your mic is off right now. Hello, ladies.
There we go.
Hello. Hello.
How are you?
Good.
Where have I seen you two before? What the daylights, huh?
Yeah. How many times do we have to be on the show before I get a ride in Big Red?
Oh, you name it, Carrie. All you have to do is ask. All you got to do is ask. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we'll have to start our 5 timers club, like SNL maybe, and all the 5 timers get a ride in Big Red.
I got a couple of that know your direction because you're around Lethbridge, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. We'll make something happen. So.
Okay. Not to put you on the spot.
Well, Melissa McKee was the latest one that got a ride in Big Red, and I'll tell you, the smile on that lady's face is probably still gleaming to this day. She was so pumped.
Yeah, no kidding. I think we're having audio issues or something. I don't know what's going on here. Are we freezing up? Have you guys seen us freezing up? Some people are just saying in the comments.
Oh,
the sound, but I haven't. I think we're good. Okay, all right. It could just be on there, and then sorry. Oh, wait on. Oh, yep. So Tasha says it's fine. Thank you, Tasha. Okay, well, you guys, I was so happy to be up in Calgary with you a couple weeks ago, and a couple weeks have passed now, so I just wanted to get you on to give everybody an update. Carrie, how you felt about how the hearings went. Eva, what you see what coming down the pipe next. So it was 4 long days. The one thing I will say about the Alberta courthouse is, at least in Ottawa, the pews are cushioned. That was a tough sit for a few days, but yeah, very long days. But like I said, like I was saying before you guys came on, I was really impressed with the efficiency of how Justice Stilts ran that courtroom.
Yeah, I felt like they got through a lot of information. Like, your brain hurt when you left because you were trying to there was so much that would go on. Yeah, they really packed a lot in.
Yeah. And this is for the certification hearing for the lawsuit that you have filed against government agencies. And who else is on that lawsuit, Carrie? Just the government?
The federal government and the provincial government.
Yeah. So she's got the certification motion. I've got to remember this now. I just went completely blank.
I'm testing your legal knowledge now, Tamara.
Yes, thank you. Now I have to use big words again. She's alleging, obviously, Carrie is vaccine injured, and she's got her lawsuit against the government of Alberta and the government of Canada for negligence, misfeasance in public office, conspiracy to commit assault and battery, I believe, was one of them. What was the other two? There was 5 altogether.
Misrepresentation, negligent misrepresentation, and breach of fiduciary duty. Those are the 5.
Yes, thank you. So this hearing was basically to try and get this certified as a class action. So this doesn't really have anything to do with it does have to do with the actions of the government, but the justice is going to decide if Carrie can proceed with a class action lawsuit, or if herself and other plaintiffs would have to proceed with individual claims. Right, Eva? I got that right?
Exactly. And so the reason it is important what the government was doing is because you have, in order for it to be certified as a class, there has to be common issues, common facts, instead of 100 different claims being made before the court for the same thing 100 different times. So that's what the point was of those 4 days, is to show that this makes sense from the perspective of economics, judicial economy, that everybody be heard with the same issues at the same time for the same claims. And so she's going to be going over all of the information we provided, and then determining which of the causes of action make sense going forward, if they make sense going forward at all. Of course, both the federal government and the provincial government said nothing to see here. No cause of actions would proceed. Nothing is common here. The damages aren't common. The issues aren't common. So they tried to paint the picture that nothing to see. We did our best. 2 thumbs up.
Yeah.
Did they use the term?
Yeah. Let's just move on.
Did they use the term "no duty of care"? Is that what one of the terms they used?
Yeah.
They had no responsibility to people who
to explain that one a little bit, because that has to do with negligence. For negligence, you have to establish a duty of care, and how the government gets away a lot in saying there's no private duty of care is that they have a public duty to the people in general. And unless in the law it says the Minister of Health shall protect the health of people or something like that, then there's no private shall protect the health of vaccine injured, for example. If that's not in the law, there's no private duty of care to vaccine injured. It's a public duty to all of the Canadians or Albertans that they're speaking to. But that only has to do with negligence. So I want to be really clear on that. It doesn't apply to misfeasance in public office, which I think we painted a very strong picture on that. Doesn't apply to breach of fiduciary duty, and of course doesn't apply to conspiracy to commit assault and battery. And on that one, we were really emphasizing and arguing that because of the misrepresentations that were made, or purposeful decisions were made about what was going to be said when and what was suppressed or not made very well known, people weren't able to make informed decisions. So if there's no informed consent, was it an assault and battery? And nobody's approached these vaccines in that way. So a couple different kind of causes of actions that we haven't heard from anybody else thus far.
So Eva, now because there's 5 or 6, I think 5 allegations made in Carrie's claim. So could the justice still find that she could pursue class action on just one of the allegations or 2 of the allegations, or does she have to knock them all out? Is it an all or nothing?
100%. It could be, she could see that there's value in moving forward in the misfeasance in public office. And then she would determine what issues. But also one thing I'm sure you both remember, and I'll just tell Chris, is that this is a very procedural basis. It wasn't based on evidence and facts. So the whole point with a class action, especially one as complicated as this, is not meant to be the be all and end all of the entire case. So there was a lot of discussion, especially about the class definition. You heard that one for like there were hours of discussion on whether or not the class definition is correct. And what the government was trying to suggest is if we propose the wrong class definition, case closed, you should not be certifying this, Justice Dilts. But that's not how class actions work, is if it's something procedural like that or administrative, there's an opportunity still to, especially once we know which claims are moving forward, we could then massage how to make the class definition fit the the causes of action that are proceeding. Because we made the class definition a bit more broad, but I think it's still very clear who it applies to. Of course, the government didn't love it because then more people are involved, but it's still very clear who they are, especially with all the medical data that everyone provided. So it's clear who took the vaccine and all of that.
Yeah.
Do we have numbers?
To their credit, sorry. I just want to ask Carrie, to their credit, both counsel for the government of Canada and the government of Alberta, when they started each of their do their submissions, acknowledged Carrie's injury and the challenges that her family has faced. But Carrie, you and I talked about this even in court. Like, it was emotionally triggering for me to sit there and listen to some of that stuff. And I just thought first of all, I have to commend you because you handled yourself so gracefully. It's tough to sit in there and hear those things about yourself or about your claim, or like how were you feeling throughout those 4 days in court, and you just kept your cool so beautifully.
Well, I found that it started off really well when the judge at the very beginning acknowledged me. I think it set the tone for me. She wanted to make it clear that, I'm not an object, I'm not a number. I am Carrie Sakamoto, vaccine injured person. That is not what the issue is, whether I was vaccine injured or not. We know that I am. It's all of these other things, right? So I felt like, I'm sorry, and now I completely forget what we were talking about.
That's what happens to me all the time. I was just saying, how are you feeling, sitting in those few days of court? And you're absolutely right about Justice Dilts. She did acknowledge it, which was a nice way for her to start that off, saying there's, we acknowledge this, but there's technical terms, so we don't want to make you feel like you're, like you said, an object. But I really liked her. I really liked Justice Dilts.
So did I. And it's hard. It's strange to hear your name brought up so many times by so many people discussing your life. But I also thought that, I'm sorry, my train of thought.
Okay.
Totally fine.
It's okay. We're all having that problem today. What's that, Carrie? Yes, that's what I do too.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Just how you were feeling. maybe.
Throughout the proceedings.
I was able to sit through it because I know in the back of my mind that it's not just for me. It's for the thousands and thousands of injured people. I'm not just sitting there myself. I really felt like I had all these people behind me, supporting me, wanting to, see this go through as much as I do. And so, just thinking of the other people, and that, considering myself fortunate that I'm able to step forward and do this.
You're a voice, Carrie, and we appreciate you. You're like the ambassador for this. This horrible thing happened to you, but here you are, still standing. You're speaking you're speaking for how many thousands of people out there right now in the similar situation who feel like they don't have a voice. So, kudos to you.
Well, thank you, Chris.
And just on that point, maybe I'll just mention, because people ask all the time, how many people could it be? And one piece of evidence that we did get out from the hearing is in Alberta, they had recognized 3,452, I believe is the number of vaccine injured individuals that were then reported to the federal government. So we have some idea at least about how many people have been recognized to date in Alberta that were vaccine injured. That kind of information I don't think was public unless it was through our cross-examination in this hearing. And that was one of the points that we were making is the government has only provided the public information that it chose to provide. So we're only going based off of public information, what's available publicly. And that information has been very hard to understand at times. The federal system of vaccine injured hasn't been updated since January of 2024. So we have no idea what's going on anymore. And that was all part of this lawsuit.
The program.
Yes, the program.
Is not working. The broken program.
Yes. Carrie could speak to that for days, unfortunately.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that was one of the things, like they brought up the VISP often, but they never brought up the problem. They just talked about it like, that what happened with the VISP program didn't happen. They never even said the words vaccine impact, whatever it's called now. They never even said that once. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It was, and it was, it's listening to some of their arguments. Like, I mean, I think one of the worst ones was the Government of Canada lawyer basically saying, well, the pandemic's over. Like, we should just move on.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. What he said about Carrie and being in the VISP program, he said, the evidence shows that Ms. Sakamoto applied for the VISP program. The evidence shows that she was accepted. The evidence shows she was offered compensation, but there's no evidence if she took it or not. And so if she did, what damages could she possibly have? That was really, I thought, ignorant and
And I would like to add to that one too, because there's three reasons that the purpose is behind a class action, having all the common issues I talked about, but it's access to justice, because it's really hard to sue the government if 100 people or these 3,400 some do it individually. Everyone has to find a lawyer and get funding, all that stuff. Judicial economy, I also mentioned, but a really important one is behavior modification. So the defendant who is being found to do something not great will have to then change their behavior because of this, because the class action has been certified, damages have been owed. But that speaks exactly to why it's so important that this class action be certified. Whether or not we succeed in the end is a different story. But when you hear the Government of Canada saying exactly that, pandemic is over, nothing to see here. Wait a second. You need to check yourselves here, and we should all be able to see in open court transparently what on earth the government was telling us, whether it was accurate, whether they were suppressing information once and for all. And if you failed, then you will be changing your behavior. But none of that will happen unless we're able to have this in open court.
Exactly. Some openness and transparency would be nice.
Yeah.
Well, accountability, something like I said the other day in a social media post, like we've been held accountable. Tamara, myself, they haven't been, and their actions were a lot worse than ours as far as I'm concerned. But this is government, and we'll keep pushing.
Yep. And it's sad that you have to do it at all. It's like, it is really sad that you have to fight this hard. It's sad that, the VISP or the VIAP was implemented, a month, 6 weeks ago. And it's still not completely set up and going yet. People are still waiting. So it's unacceptable. And they should have been, in my opinion, helping these people right from the very beginning, instead of gaslighting them, trying to make them feel like they were crazy, not getting them the help that they needed. And it's just, I just find it very emotional. I have a hard time not getting emotional about it because it is extremely frustrating. And now Carrie, who's got better things to do with her life, I'm sure, like take care of her family, has to go to court to fight for the things that a democratic society should just naturally receive.
It's healthcare. You'd think that, that's all the injured are asking for is help.
Yeah.
A little bit of healthcare would be great. That a doctor could properly report what's happened and then treat you as a vaccine injured. Why are there no vaccine injury clinics where people can go? There's long COVID clinics. You can Google them. There's probably 3 in my area. There are no vaccine injury clinics of any kind where doctors can gather and share information, where patients can gather information. I think that the Allison inquiry is giving voice to a bunch of injured people and hopefully bringing it again up in Parliament so that it's in the forefront again. Because where did all these the government likes to talk money all the time, where's all the millions of dollars that was allotted for the injured? And it's gone. Exactly. They've said it's gone. We're gone. Where?
Yeah.
I want to know.
That's just another case to what Eva was just saying, though. Like, the Oxero and the VISP was a giant epic failure. And rather than actually come out and acknowledge this, they're literally just trying to do this and stop talking about it so people do forget about it. But there's a massive scandal there. For sure there is. I think something like $36 million went to administering that program, which we now know was not being administered. So where's the money?
Yeah. And we also know there's thousands of people just in Alberta that are injured, and looking for recognition. They're looking for help, It's sad. It breaks my heart.
That's why we need an Alberta provincial vaccine injury program for sure. At least they could probably get it rolled out a bit faster than the government gets the VIAP rolled out anyways.
It only makes sense. Our doctors are in the province. Our healthcare is in the province that we're in. It doesn't make sense that everything is going through Ottawa for people in Alberta or BC. What?
Yeah, exactly.
It could be streamlined so much better, and people who are injured, I think, could get care in a real timely manner, not like the government's timely manner.
Yeah.
Well,
and the
nice
vaccine in clinics is great.
These doctors are waking up to this too. There's so many doctors out there right now, and I speak to so many people that have issues that go to the hospital or the walk-in clinics to have themselves looked at, and the doctors basically write them off. I have family members that have been fighting this for years now, and obviously there's issues, and the doctors keep pushing it off or send you to somebody else that sends you to somebody else, and by the time they actually find out the root cause of it, it's possibly too late in some cases. That's our healthcare system. If you can actually find a doctor.
Eva and I were at the Whistle Stop yesterday, and Carrie got up. Carrie, I can't remember his last name. Chris Scott's partner there from the Chris and Carrie
Lambert,
show. Yes, thank you, Carrie Lambert. And he just talked before he introduced us to go on stage, and he was saying he wasn't at the Whistle Stop last year for July 1st because his daughter had cancer. She was diagnosed with cancer down in the United States. She was into a clinic immediately. She's doing really well. I think it was his mother during the same time was also diagnosed with cancer, and she waited over a year to even get in to see someone, you know, less than a month. And his mom, I think it was his mom. It was a female older relation for sure. I think it was his mom. Anyways, you know, so that shows you the difference just between, you know, like you said, we're supposed to have the best healthcare in the world, but that's not.
Just that glitch, eh?
Yeah.
She always glitches. I don't know what it is. There's now she's back. Now you're back.
I should have restarted my computer first. I'm still gonna go get a computer. Didn't happen this week. Next week.
You got Chris out in the bald prairies in Saskatchewan, where you know we had dial-up internet years ago, and now you're in a major city with high speed, and here I'm not having it. I'm not having many issues, so that's good. Thanks, Elon Musk, Starlink.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Honestly, Starlink worked better when we were in Manitoba than it does in my backyard here, which is kind of crazy, but. Oh well. Eva, so what's coming up next then? When do you expect to hear a decision from Justice Stilts?
I've said this way, I have no idea, maybe 3 to 5 months with a heavy emphasis on I have no idea. No indication on when it'll be, but you know, it's an important one. I think, as you both suggested, Justice Stilts seemed very, in my view, very fair. I don't think we really pushed through. There was an indication. The lawyers suggested maybe this might go on, but Justice Stilts made it very clear we're going to sit later, start earlier to make sure that we get it done in the 4 days that were allotted. So I don't expect that this decision will take an extremely long time, just given the way that it was managed. So hopefully sooner rather than later, of course, so that we all know next steps and what's going to happen here.
It was really interesting to watch her, because the first day when you got up to do your submissions, like I felt like she pushed back against you a few times throughout that day, and she asked you really good questions. And then by the time that you came back to do your reply, after sitting through the Canadian government's lawyers and the provincial government's lawyers, which I didn't find them half as bad as the Canadian ones, honestly, but you know, she was much more receptive on your last day, I thought, just with regards to your arguments and how some of their arguments were. I know on the first day, the lady got up for the government of Canada and immediately started talking, and the Justice Stilts was like, well, Eva and I just solved that problem, like just now. But, you know, it was like, unless they couldn't read it off their paper, when she would ask them questions, they couldn't answer them. And she seemed like she got really frustrated with that. So anyways, I was happy with the way that it ended. And I felt pretty hopeful that you guys have a really excellent case to get this moving forward. So I sure hope so.
Is there, just looking at the comment section here, we got Kathy here. Her sister had a brain aneurysm. Is that like neurological issues are quite common with the vaccine injuries, right? Carrie, do you know much about this, what she's asking here?
Yes. And I know of people who've had strokes and brain lesions. Michelle Wharton from CanRise 19, she's a good example. She has a lot of neurological issues. She's had brain surgery, and they continue to find things wrong with her brain, and it just keeps going. So but yeah, there's a lot of that. So Kathy, I encourage you to reach out to Michelle Wharton.
And CanRise 19, I don't know if we have the email link ready to go, but I imagine Tasha, our amazing producer, will have it up there within seconds, because that's
right. She's not as fast as Eva, but almost.
No, I mean, if Eva's not there when you know.
Well, I was going to say with Carrie too, like one thing that she said a number of times, and I'm just going to put it out there too, is the way Carrie described it too, is that the vaccine injured have had to basically support each other. So this is what the government is supposed to do. That's why we have public health care. They were encouraging the vaccine, and then instead, vaccine injured people have come together to help each other out because the government abandoned and failed them. And so, she knows a lot about the issues that have occurred. because they're talking to each other and helping each other out.
And as Chris and Tamara, well, and Eva, you
This
all
is a
know
great comment.
about censorship, even just trying to find other injured people and not being able to say the words COVID vaccine injury, was very, very difficult in the beginning. I find it's a little more lenient now. For example, I have a Facebook page and I have, I write on there COVID vaccine injured, and they haven't taken it away yet. This one. But I shouldn't speak too soon, knock on some wood here. But censorship is a big issue. It was a big barrier for us to get together. So we were meeting in backroom places online so that we could say words.
Yes.
Just as simple as vaccine injury.
Yeah, and I encourage anybody to reach out. Like CanRes 19 is a good organization. If you reach out to Carrie, private message to her, most people can do that on social media, and she will probably respond and help you with ideas or where to go to get the help that you need. Because there's a community of people that are vaccine injured right now, and they, like you said, they're the support system that have been getting themselves through this last number of years.
Yeah.
I'm just going to jump off and quickly reboot my computer because I'm just keep glitching up. So just Chris, hold the show.
Well,
not the line. The show. I'll be right back.
I was going to be the host and ask Carrie to maybe describe what the updates are with the. So first, it was the vaccine injury support program through a third party, Auxero, and now the Public Health Agency of Canada has stated already in April, at least, that they're taking over. What are the updates, Carrie, that you've seen since April when our government has said, don't worry, we've got this, everybody?
Yeah, so we actually just received an update letter, and they're stating that starting July 1st, so yesterday, that we can create an account for the VIAP claimant portal. And in this portal, they tell you how you can register for it, and you verify your information. And then apparently in this portal, through your account, you can sign in and view your claim information, including your claim status and any new mail.
This is 5 years later. We're just starting to get a login and access to a program that is still uncertain of what it actually is providing.
Yeah. So I have not tried to sign into the new portal yet, but I plan on doing it in the next couple of days to see what's up. My case is now considered an open appeal, and we've been told that people who are appealing are going to have to show why we're appealing with strong evidence, and which has already been asked and provided. But I'll give it to them 100 times if they keep asking. I'll send it 1,000,000. I don't care. I just want it to work. I just want to be done going through this program. It's been 5 years. I'm.
And I'll help kind of illustrate it. So what the appeal is that Carrie is appealing is she submitted, for example, a receipt for a hearing aid, which she requires now because she's lost hearing. They denied it. So she appealed that benefit. Same with her eyeglasses. She's lost vision in her eye. And they denied the claim. She's appealing based on things like a hearing aid, her eye vision, and medication that she requires to take every day. It's not for, millions of dollars. It's for basic necessities that are directly related to her injury. And they make it sound like it's this big appeal she's asking for when it just pay for the bills that I've incurred 5 years ago.
Yeah,
it's just nuts.
If I was waiting on them, I still wouldn't have glasses to protect my eye. I still wouldn't have.
And I'm sure there's more.
Aid.
I can't hear Carrie. I don't know what to say.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you, Carrie. Yeah.
Okay. I've spent thousands of dollars on, I should be in all kinds of therapies. Thankfully, my Give, Send, Go, people donate. And so I pay for things like swimming because I can't really exercise because I have 2 types of vertigo. Swimming is the one thing I can do. Oh. So
I don't know what is going on here.
we lost
I think
Eva.
we're having problems. I think we're having technical issues.
We lost Eva.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Yeah. She's got to get to the Stampede anyways. That's why I told her we'd get her out of here before 7 because she's got to go down and do some Stampede stuff. First day of Calgary Stampede today.
I'm gonna wear my vest, my jean vest.
Yeah.
I never
Are
go.
you guys going in at all? No, me neither. Too big for me. Too big for me. Too many people.
I can't stay up past 6, so I don't go.
Yeah, no doubt. No kidding. Okay. I'm sorry I had to jump off there and restart my computer, but yeah, I don't know. Everyone seems to be having really glitchy electronics today. Strange.
Well, I see the clouds are coming over the house here, but I think the storms are building over top me and then going on. So hopefully the sun's back out now. So it is hot and it is muggy out there. Carrie, what's your weather like?
Same
Same
thing.
Yeah.
I watch it come from here and it goes past us and hits Medicine Hat. I watch it go towards Tamara all the time.
Mm-hmm. We're sort of right on the periphery of all these this weather that we're having. So we have been getting some rain, but goodness, not like what they're getting up north. Manitoba's flooding, northern Alberta, central Alberta's flooding. It's there's a lot of water. So hopefully it's good for Stampede.
It's been a little tricky
for Stampede.
Put a bunch of loads for northern Saskatchewan right now, and there's most of the places we can't get into to haul the equipment, and just too much water. So praying for those guys up there. Hopefully they get a break.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, did we get everything covered, the two ladies? I think we covered everything I wanted to really talk about. I just wanted to give everybody an update on how that went. And Eva, I know you got to get going. So
it's I couldn't hear after you logged back in, so I took your cue and logged back in, and now I can hear you.
Oh, good. Yeah. Oh, I had to. Yeah. I don't know why it does this. It's really frustrating. Well, we had a show with Gord McGill a couple of weeks ago, and it just it's going to do it again. Here it goes. And it crashed, and Chris had to finish the whole show by himself. So anyways, yeah. So I think before my computer absolutely dies for the evening, I'm going to let you guys go.
Okay, well, thank you. And thanks again for coming to the courtroom. It was great to have somebody there the whole time reporting on it.
Yeah, it was great to have you sitting beside me.
Well, thank you. I was really
someone who has kind of sat there. I had no idea what to expect. So it was great having you sitting there beside me. And then of course when you're sitting in court, you could see everybody's name online who were signed in. So that was really great. And thank you guys, Chris and Tamara, for giving us this space again to speak about the vaccine injured. We're out here, we're by the thousands, and we're not stopping. We're speaking up as loud as we can.
We're right behind you, Carrie and Eva, and of course Eva's been right in the fight right from the day one. I don't know. You never surpassed me on.
I was trying to find her book. I was trying to find her book to show, but Eva, I would like to get you on one day in the near future to talk about empowering Canadians. If you would be so kind to join us. There we go. Reconnect to Canada.
Happy to. It was just because of what we witnessed in Ottawa and post Ottawa, especially the lies and the way people were just making nonsense out of things that were just so nothing, like overthrowing the government, for example, with a piece of paper. Like, we need to be educated about our system in order to have these discussions of how to change the system. So I was just so frustrated with the level of discussion in this country. I was embarrassed, frankly. So that's why I wrote it. But yeah, we could talk another time about it.
Yeah, we'll have you on. We'll get you booked in to come on and just talk about your organization, because I think people need to know about it, because you're doing such great work. So thanks for everything you do. Carrie, thanks for everything you're doing. We'll let you guys go before my computer crashes.
Yeah.
Have fun, guys.
So we'll get you on once we have any more updates.
Sounds great. Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. Okay. Take care.
You.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Gosh, I just wish we could get all these. I wonder if it has something to do with the weather or something.
I'm not trying to pick my nose. I got a hair in my mustache that's literally going right up the inside of my nostril, and I don't. Ugh, and it just tickles. That is my problem. I'm not picking my nose. Get that hair out of there.
Well, I'm happy to say that I don't have those kinds of problems. And what do you got planned for the rest of the week, Chris?
I'm in demolition mode in my little community of Stir Valley right now. I have my track hoe over there right now. Of course, because of the new government laws on environmental stuff, when we tear a house down now, everything's got to be put into dumpsters and hauled 25 miles to the local landfill site. Whereas back in the day, we used to just dig a hole and burn it wherever it was. So I'm finding it quite time consuming. I'm always waiting for them to come back and give me another empty bin. But I'll tell you what, using a track hoe to smash and destroy a house is so exhilarating. It is just the best thing in the world.
Therapy.
Yes.
It's probably like therapy.
We got this old stone fireplace on the outside of the house, and I'm like, that is such a landmark, but it has to come down. So that'll be the last thing that comes down. I'll push it down in the basement and then cover it over. But it's unfortunate. I'll be burying, like I said, my neighbor's horse probably tomorrow morning, and continuing on with my demolition work. And I've got Hang that has to get ready here. Jonathan's probably still out in the shop working on our swather, and as soon as that's up and running again, I fought with it for a few hours this afternoon. And the float in the carburetor has a hole in it, so we're having troubles keeping it running. So I thought it would have been a good night. Wow. Get everything cut tonight, and then I could bail in probably 3 or 4 days. But
yeah, you should have a really good. You should have a really good hang season.
I was debating whether
Bev, I just tried to post this there, but.
So do we want to?
You have granny hairs on your chin. No, I don't, Bev. Thankfully, not yet.
More white now than anything.
Sorry, Chris. There's a lag. Yeah,
there is, isn't there? So.
Did we want to what? We can ask?
I don't know. There's a lag in there somewhere, so I don't know what's going on with our system tonight, but.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know either. Weird. Anyways, okay. Well, I'll just we could just sign off for this week and let our computers things sort themselves out. Hopefully I'll have a new one by next week. Anyways, next week I think we got John coming on, Right Blend. Do you know him as Right Blend? He sat through a heck of a lot, almost every Freedom Convoy trial and hearing that there was out in Ottawa, and did some fantastic reporting on all of those. And he's become a great friend. He recently had open heart surgery a few months ago now, so he's still been recovering from that. But yeah, we're looking forward to having him on. Also, Chris, I ran into Mike Rood yesterday, and I'd like to get him on to talk about his story, because he's got quite a story.
He does.
And now the Canadian government, or the CAF, is going after him for $100,000.
For what?
He received a letter that he owes them $100,000. I mean, the CAF and the Canadian government should be on their knees begging for that man's forgiveness for what they did to him and others. So it's brutal. Yeah, absolutely just brutal.
When are we going to become angry, everyone? This is my question that I commonly ask myself. Like, what, they keep doing this. They're not hiding the corruption anymore. And it's evidence. It's open sight, but we just keep allowing it. It's unfortunate. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, overpayment is what they're saying. Claude's right. Yeah, they said it was an overpayment of some sort.
Yeah. Wow.
That's just so frustrating. I just wish they would take, just like our vaccine injured, just take care of our veterans. Just take care of them. They gave up their life for you, basically. They sacrificed so much. They fought for this country. And every time they ask for just like Carrie, I'd like some medicine. There was one of them that asked to get a chairlift in her home, and they offered her maid instead. I mean, this is the kind of treatment that they're getting. So yeah, I'll get that arranged with him next week, and we'll get him booked in. So we got so many people we got to get on the show. It's absolutely crazy. So we're going to look at launching a second episode, but I thought we may as well wait until the end of the summer, because everyone's going to be busy and stuff. So at the end of the summer, we'll get that done. But anyways, I'm off to Ottawa tomorrow morning. I apologize to everyone for all the technical issues here again this evening. It's so frustrating, but I don't think we're the only ones, honestly.
No.
There's a major lag. So
we have a very patient, amazing audience. So they know that we just come out here and wing it most days. We're not professional podcasters, but we've got a small minority of people that like to join in, and we're very thankful for that. So thank you very much.
We love our fringe minority. That's right. We love our fringe minority. Okay, everybody, have a great week, and thank you so much for joining us tonight on House Arrest. Chris, I hope you have a fantastic week, and I'll let you know how my trip to Ottawa goes when I get home on Monday.
Awesome. Enjoy your trip. Travel safe, and we'll see you next week. Bye, guys.
Have a great week, everyone.